Welcome to another practice trading. Okay, let's see what's going on. I'm going to zoom out and take a look at this. So we overall are in an upward trend. And I don't know if I wanted to kind of draw a line on it. We maybe could, like, this might be like the overall that I see. But then, okay, and then there's our like high. So I would put something just like a horizontal line right there. Okay, and then as we get in closer and look at the trend, the more recent trend, if I wanted to draw a trend line on this, this time I might go more on the bodies of this bar right here, just because I think it kind of like matches up a little bit better. So I might say something along those lines. And if we wanted to look towards the top, probably something about like there. Okay, so where are we? So this is a trend channel, a bull trend channel. Where are we right now? So we went up and now we are like halfway in the channel. We're not at the bottom and we're not at the top. So this is not a good place for me to be buying or selling at. So I want to let it play out a little bit more so I can either get to the bottom and then buy, or see what happens if we go up. Like I would either sell or maybe the trend channel breaks if we go up too much. So let's see. Okay. We have touched the bottom of this trading range, and the way that it like touched the bottom and then came up pretty fast, like it didn't close down there, that makes me wonder if we're not gonna go down any further. And we are, okay, so now if I were to look at this here, I'll use this fib tool to check like where we are in the, so if I looked at this trend channel, we are below the 50% mark, but still pretty high on the trend channel. So if I were, like, let's look at this. If I were to buy right here, if I were to buy, then I would want my stop loss to be probably a little below there. Okay. And my high would be pretty close to there. So even though we're not, like, I prefer it when I'm buying like a little bit closer to this bottom trend line, but we're not really in a very bad position because my risk to reward ratio is over 2. So that's and even if I was going to be conservative and I was going to say, okay, like right about there, that's still a pretty good risk to reward ratio for me and how I trade, because I trade like the small trends. That's a pretty good risk right there. So I think I actually am going to buy here, but I also think there's like a semi-decent chance that we still do come down a little bit further before we go up, but I'm just going to be okay with that, knowing that I still think we're going to go up. Okay, I'm going to put that there to show us like where I would put my stop loss, and then I'm going to do a buy. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. That's awesome. We are already up here, but I see we are like where we shot up to instantly is like just about where the tops of these bodies keep coming to. So that kind of makes me nervous that we are hitting a resistance right there, and then that resistance might like turn us around, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it and try to see if it goes any higher. Okay, that's not great. And that also kind of validates the fear that I had that there was some resistance right here. It does sort of seem to be pointing in that direction, but we'll see. Okay, now let's take a closer look at this. Let's extend this line. Okay, well, you know what? I still think we are right on track with what I thought was going to happen. We are coming a little bit further to like fully touch that trend line. And that makes sense because if we look backwards, remember I decided I was going to draw this trend line right here based off of the bodies and not based off of the wicks. So I hit the body right here and I hit the bottom of the body right here. So it makes sense that the body hits the trend line right here. Okay, so I still think everything that I was saying seems legitimate. So I'm still holding into this trade to see if we are now going to go up the trend channel. Okay, maybe, I think. Yay. Okay, so now I would flatten right there. And it even went a little bit above where I had my profit target. So that's 190. That's actually really close to my, I'm going to like scoot that this way so that it doesn't get in our way, but we still have it on the board. Okay, so that's pretty much where I would be happy to quit for the day if I was trading. I'm going to see if something else presents itself to me in a second. We'll see. Look, it went even higher. So you see if I extend this, it makes sense that we're going even higher, but I am still happy with my amount of money. I was happy to close out, and you see how like it went up and then it came down. That is what was my signal that I am, in addition to the like idea of being happy with 200 or near 200, also the fact that it had a high wick and came down, that made me kind of nervous. But now you see how this one has very little wick. That one actually kind of looks like it might want to go up even higher. So we might go all the way up until we hit this bar. Yep. But it definitely did hit resistance. And oh, look, here's that line coming into play. See, that's that like high from probably from the previous day, that previous point of resistance. So we are coming close to that, and we definitely did sense some resistance and close the body underneath the trend line. So let's see. Okay, but now we might be testing the waters and seeing if we can go above that trend line, and it doesn't look like it. Now, this could be a place to sell and a place to go short, to like follow the trend all the way down the trend channel. But actually, I don't know. I mean, number one, I'm happy with the 190, but also like this whole, it tried really hard to go up here. So that makes me kind of nervous that it might continue to try going up a few more times before it turns around. So I actually, and well, here, we're going to see what happens for like, yeah, you see, I thought it might go up, and then we're going to test out this trend line. We're seeing what's happening here. Oh, we closed right above that previous high. Of course, I wasn't being super precise when I drew that. So maybe, no, I mean, I think we've closed. I think we are closing higher. So maybe this is a breakout. Maybe we're exiting this trend. Let's just see what happens. Maybe not. Maybe that was the point of resistance, and now we're coming back down. This would be a good place to sell. Let's see what would be my risk and reward if I were to sell right here. Short position right here. Okay, now I need to have my stop like at least right there. And then if I wanted to be safe, my stop would be way up there. I'm going to go ahead and put it like there to be safe, because I've already made what I wanted for today. So if I'm going to take another trade, I want it to be an excellent risk to reward ratio, basically. Okay. I mean, it might come further down, but that's kind of where I would put it. We are at a risk reward ratio of 1.5. That is a good ratio for how I trade. Sometimes I definitely will take that risk. But like I said, right now, because I already had a good amount and I'm happy, I don't really feel like being risky right now. So I think I'm going to skip this trade. And we'll just see what happens up until, we'll see if we come back down. I'll try to go faster. Oh, no. See, we are once again, and I'm glad I didn't take that trade. But okay, so we once again tested that resistance, and then now we're coming down. Maybe not. Boy. Okay, so now it looks like we have exited this trend channel that we were previously in, like this upward trend channel. And I would call this right here, I would call it a trading range. We're doing something like this right now. We're bouncing up, we're bouncing down, bouncing up, bouncing down. Now, let's see. See, we are kind of having higher lows down here. So you could make the argument that this is a trend, possibly. But if I look at the highs aren't always getting higher because like this high is higher and this high is lower than this high. So we kind of came like down, but now we're going up. So it might just be that this was a pullback and then now we're going up. But we're also getting to that, look, here's 830. We're getting into that opening trade range. So this, I think, is where I will end my practice for today because I prefer to trade in the pre-market session. It's just the session that works the best for me. So anyways, that was my practice for today. I am happy with 190 and that's how I practice every single day.